hope this was just a nightmare. This all happened when I was 10 years old, one stormy autumn night, one that I will never forget. The day had gone by fine from what I remember. I was always a happy-go-lucky kid and really nothing ever set me off. But there was going to be a thunderstorm that night, and I was always scared of thunder. The bright lights, the huge crashing from the sky. My mom always tried to find a way to get me not to be scared, because even at 10 years old, I would eventually go upstairs to her room to spend the night, shaking and crying. But I grew out of it around 12 years old, and now I honestly love thunderstorms. But that's besides the point. This night, I'd gone to my room at around 9, arguing with my mom that I simply wasn't going to sleep to avoid the scares I'd experience. But how wrong was I in thinking that? Now midnight, my little heart thumping as loudly as the booming from above, I was terrified. There were tears running down my cheeks as I stared out the window across from my bed, giving me a full view of my large backyard. To give you a picture, my backyard was fairly long both ways. I had a medium-sized blow-up pool, a large trampoline, and a fire pit in the center. The fences were about 5 feet tall, and they spanned from the corners of my house to my neighbors' yards on the 3 sides they could connect. The farthest feint was harder to see as I didn't have my glasses on, and it was pitch black. But every flash of lightning illuminated everything, and I had a clear view of my entire yard for a half a second. Eventually, half past midnight now, I was getting drowsy. My triumph was coming to an end, and I'd fall into a deep sleep, likely accompanied by nightmares due to my already conscious fear. My eyelids were getting heavy, and the storm was getting farther away, but I kept blinking myself awake. And then I saw something. As far back as the fence, there was a figure, a silhouette that I could only see during the light shows. Every flash, this figure got closer. It was taking some time, because the further away the storm, the more time between each bright flash. But there was something there. Now, I'm fully aware that I was 10 years old, exhausted and already petrified from thunderstorms happening, so this could just be a product of my scared imagination. But the memory is so vivid that I'm not even sure anymore. The farther away the storm got, the closer the figure became, until my window had gone completely black, even with the lightning. There was something so close to the clear glass that its body width acted as some sort of blackout shield. I was terrified now, more than I had been at any point previously in that night. The only movement I could make was to turn my digital alarm clock and read the 3 numbers on it. 1:14 a.m. This was later than I'd ever been up before. And if it weren't for the rawness of my eyes from the tears, or the incessant shaking that accompanied my tired 10-year-old body, I'd be boasting about this to all of my friends. But I looked to the window again, and on the last flash of lightning that I saw that night, there was a face. This face had been ingrained in my memories from such a young age. I still remember all of the details from it despite only seeing it for 1 or 2 seconds. It was very round, not circular, but almost baby-faced, if you will. I could see nothing more than the facial features, so I'm not sure if this thing had hair or was wearing a hood of sorts. The round face was also pure white. Usually that meant something cute, like one of my stuffed animals or the snow I used to frolic around in. If I'd ignore the rest of the features, I may have even explained it as a prank my siblings pulled, where they built a snowman looking into my room or something. But this thing was no snowman. It was a living, breathing humanoid. Eyes shrunken and deep into its head, black irises with equally as black rings around it, like something a child had drawn. There was no nose on its face, just eyes, and then mouth, which was equally as horrible. It was huge and human. I saw no teeth, just two thin, overstretched lips, the color of blood. It looked like a mask that someone had created, but I swear it was just this thing's face. I'm more than glad this only lasts 1 second, as I'm able to blame it on my imagination or being tired. I really hope this never happened, that it was a nightmare or something, but it is so prominent in my mind, I'm not even sure what to believe anymore. After that, I fell asleep or fainted. I'm not sure, but I was exhausted, so I probably didn't have a choice to stay awake, because I would have. This is the end of my story, but even now at 16 years old, I still get shaken from thunderstorms, and I still dread seeing that thing in my window. God, I hope it was just a nightmare.